You ready to go to your new home? She's pretty chill. You be good, girl.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, be safe. Love you too. Be good. Well, this is sad. But he only took one.
Howdy goat lovers, Derek here at Blue Cactus Dairy Goats. We are currently in New Mexico and we are almost to a rest area where we are going to feed and water our precious cargo. It's a pretty desert willow tree. Hi little girl. Well, today we only have one goat with us, because she is the only one that's going to Texas. All the other goaties, there was no one close to you. So we decided, since there was no one close to her, that we just run her over and just get this one out of the way. Since she's the only goat with us, we got her here in the back of the truck in this crate. And I have a bunch of cardboard down rather than pine shavings because I don't want it blowing around in here all day. There's a lot of cardboard wadded up underneath that to soak up any urine or any water that she might spill. That being said, I'm only gonna give her a little bit of water at a time because she's not gonna drink it while we're moving and she's just gonna spill it all over the place. Here, you thirsty little girl? Here, try some of that. I'll get you some food. Just like with the pine shavings, I didn't bring any hay. It's just this, what we call the stand mix, which is Neutrina 17%, and the black stuff is Boss black oiled sunflower seeds. But for the same reason as the pine shavings, I don't want that hay whipping around in here all day either. So there you go. She's gonna just start eating her stand mix there that she loves. This goat's name here is Daisy Dukes. And she is a Daisy and Legend daughter. And she is just a pretty little sweetheart. Ain't that right, girl? Yeah. While little Daisy Duke here is eating and drinking, me and Daren here, since he's with me on this adventure, we're gonna go use the rest area. Here is the official scenic historic marker of Yucca Plains. Wide alluvial plains of southwest New Mexico are a feature of the Basin and Range province, with isolated fault block mountains scattered like islands from a sandy sea. Volcanic rocks form most of the Cedar Mountains to the south and Pyramid Mountains to the west, but the Burrow Mountains to the northwest are mainly ancient granites, elevation 4,560 feet. Neat. And the yucca, which is that right there, is the New Mexico state flower. The yucca is a member of the lily family. Who knew that? Its spring blossoms are pearly white. Early Indians used its tender shoots for food. Soap was made from its roots. Sandals and basketry from the leaf fiber. A single variety of moth produces pollination. So our destination today is Andrews, Texas. It's a 8.5-hour drive. It's 530 miles. We left at about 6 o'clock and it's coming up on 8 o'clock. And I bet the girls are already outside doing their chores.
Ready? Yeah. All right, you guys, so let me fill you in on our current milking situation. So in this pen here, we have 12 does that we are milking. Oof. In this bottom stall so that we can let them into the parlor and easy peasy. And then these does we are drying up. So let me explain why. All right, so as you guys know, we are selling 5 senior does. So those does we did decide to dry up. The reason being because we like to dry them up before we send them to their new homes. We've had experience where people, we've sent them off in milk. Leia, come here, girl. We've, anyway, had experience where we sent them off to their new homes and they were in milk. You're eating my hair. It's okay. And the people that we sent them to didn't necessarily know how to milk a goat. So it just kind of made me nervous and I don't like it. So in this particular instance, we are just going to dry them all up so that I make sure that the people are ready for their new goats. They're prepared. And if somebody in particular wants a goat in milk that we're selling that is a senior, then if they have experience and they request it, then obviously I would accommodate. But in this situation, we didn't have anybody who was requesting them to be in milk, and just to play it safe, we always just dry them up before we sell them. So in addition to the 5 does that we're drying up because we sold them and they will be traveling soon, there is a couple goats we are drying up that we're keeping in the herd, Dreamer being one. Now Dreamer here, she's only being dried up because she just had a single and she's just really not going to be competition in the ring just because of her smaller udder. She's gorgeous. She has just, she's going to be awesome next year when she has triplets, right? Yep, that's right. That's right. Leia, you're all over me. What's up, girl? Silly girl. Maddie here, we decided to dry up because, well, she's just kind of ornery. She doesn't like to cooperate half of the time. Sometimes she won't come up on the milk stand. You got to kind of coerce her. And then sometimes when she's on the milk stand, she doesn't want to be milked. So we decided to make our lives easier. I'm getting attacked by goats. To make our life easier, come here, girl. We decided to dry Maddie up. What is up, Dreamer? Now Cammy here, as I've mentioned before, she's a gorgeous goat, great genetics, but she just doesn't have the udder because it's so lopsided to be any competition in the ring. So she's not going to be a show goat. She's just going to be, oh, excuse me, Lodi. She's just going to be a brood doe. So she's going to make beautiful babies for us and for other people, but she's not going to go in the show ring, so we can dry her up. And then, of course, there's May. As you guys know, she did not take last year, so she isn't in milk anyway. So we put her in here with the girls we're drying up because we're not bringing them up on the stand, so she can be in here. You're crazy today, girl. What's going on? You want lovin's? Silly girl. So the reason that we're actually drying up 3 of the milkers we're keeping, Dreamer, Cammy, and Maddie, is because, well, for one, we can only put 12 does in the trailer that we have. So to continue to go to shows, we only have room for 12, and you have to be a milker to be able to go to the show. So we decided to dry up the ones that, you know, wouldn't have potential in the show ring. So that's the reason we dried up 3 of them, but also it's going to help us just be more efficient and quicker because we have 12 slots on our milk stand, so we only have to bring up 12 goats at once, and it is so much smoother, so much easier than having to do it multiple times. So anyway, we did dry up 3 of the does that we have that we're keeping, as well as the 5 that we're shipping. Now, the biggest concern with drying up your does is the potential for mastitis. And what mastitis is an infection that can cause the udder to just kind of decay. Bacteria gets up into the udder and it can either kill them if it gets bad enough, or they can potentially even lose the udder or half of an udder, just depending. So you really want to make sure that you keep a close eye on the does that you're drying up. Now, again, with mastitis, like when they get super full, they tend to leak. So when they start leaking, their teat orifices will open. And if their teat orifices open, they lay in the dirt, then it causes an opening, a large opening for dirt or bacteria to be able to get into. And at that point, they can get infected, and that's where they potentially could get mastitis. So again, it's super important to just, you have to fill them. Every milking, you know, we milk 12 and 12, so every day we milk twice a day, 12 and 12. And even though I dried her up, I'm still filling her and checking her in all of the does to make sure they're not too tight, they're not leaking, they're not getting any potential for mastitis. So that's super, super important. And now that I got you guys on a closer view, if you see, when you're feeling for the udder, if it's too tight. Now Ruger's here is pretty firm, it's pretty tight, and it has been. She really, really wants to be a dairy goat. She produces a lot of milk, and it just makes me sad that I sold her, but whatever. So anyway, she is doing really, really good at this point. I have had to relieve her a couple of times, but not a lot. So anyway, if you're looking at the udder, you see how it has give here. If you try to push up and there's nothing, that's bad. That's bad. You need to relieve them. They're too tight. And if you can't push, I hope you guys can see that, but if you can't push in on the udder and there's no give whatsoever, that's also really bad. They're just too tight. You need to relieve them. So you don't want to relieve them too much. If you do, then that continues to make them think they need to produce more milk. So you're really just looking for, if you have to relieve them, you're really just looking for a little bit to where you just have this give, if you will, and they're not super hard rock tight. So that's what you're looking for. Ruger here's doing good. Every day she's starting to absorb it a little bit more. But again, she's an overachiever. She really, really wants to put milk in the pail, and she's a good goat. That's what a dairy goat should do. So that's what I look for when I'm trying to dry my does up. I just want to make sure they're not super tight, they're not leaking. Leaking is the worst that could happen, and you just relieve them if needed. And of course, if you relieve them, you're going to want to count equal squirts, and just make sure you try to keep that udder even. Otherwise, you have to milk them all the way out, and then that just kind of prolongs the situation, because then that just told their udder they drank everything. So anyway, it's really, really hot here, guys. I don't know how hot it is for you guys, but I'm just sitting here wondering how hot it is where Derek and Daren are.
All right, so we just took a quick pit stop here in the Guadalupe Mountains of West Texas. This is my second time passing through this stuff, and you know, it reminds me of a story. Some people might want to know why we deliver the goats, right? So back in way back in March of 2020, we sold a bunch of goats like we do every spring. In order to make the route in time and have the goats delivered in time, I had to drive these goats over here to Texas to drop them off with the transport. But the transporter, they weren't quite ready to go. They had an older trailer, not the normal trailer that I had seen before, but an older trailer, and it was full of bedding. You know, without thinking, or it just didn't occur to me, I put all those goats in that old trailer with all that old bedding, and you know, and went back through the Guadalupe Mountains for the first time and back to Arizona. And a few weeks later, those goats got delivered safely. However, a few weeks after that, we got a phone call from one person, and they were saying their whole barn had came down with orf. What we think happened was, I took the goats over here, and the normal awesome trailer that they normally use wasn't ready. You know, it was having the wheel bearings and stuff packed. It wasn't ready to go, and it wouldn't be ready for a couple of days. So I put our 9 goats in that trailer with all the old bedding. The theory is those goats might have been in that trailer for a night or two in that old bedding, and one of them probably found a little scab and nibbled it. And, you know, in a week or 2 weeks later, you know, it showing full-blown symptoms, and then suddenly their whole barn got it. I know the transporter didn't do anything intentionally, and I know it's just a simple slight oversight that I might have caused by trying to deliver them, you know, to them. But anyway, you know, it's just kind of how it all played out. Their trailer wasn't ready. They had an older trailer. We tossed them in it. They might have been in there for a couple of days, and by the time they got to where they were going, you know, somebody had Dwarf. So ever since then, I deliver them myself. We are a closed herd. We are a disease-free herd. And one of the easiest ways that I can make sure that our healthy, disease-free goats stay that way all the way until you get them is to deliver them myself. They never get put in anybody else's trailer. They never get put next to anybody else's goat. I pulled them safely out of that pen this morning, and I take them straight to you. Plus, I'm always down for a road trip.
All right, you guys, so Emily and I are in the soap shop today because we are about to turn our soap shop back on and start making some goat milk soap again. So it is hard to believe that we had 2 deep freezers full of frozen milk, as well as our both refrigerator freezers full of frozen milk, plus our drying rack where we have soap here ready to be cut is usually full of soap. Our mega shelf here is usually full of soap that is sitting here cut and curing. And our shipping shelf is typically full of soap to sell. So, since things are looking pretty bare right now, we're gonna take the opportunity to do a deep cleaning on the soap shop. So yesterday, I was able to get this side of the soap shop all cleaned up, got it all good and dusted, organized all of my materials, my awesome natural ingredients, all of my essential oils alphabetized, and just tidied up a little bit. So feeling good about that. And now over here, we gotta get on the mega shelf. All right, you guys, so the soap shop is clean and ready for me to get making some soap again, and I can't wait. But you guys don't have to wait to buy any soap. We have plenty in stock, lots to choose from. So head on over to our Etsy shop and show your skin some love. The link to our Etsy shop is in the description below.
All right, we are in Andrews, Texas. Things are looking a little bit greener. And I think this is your road, little girl. Almost there, little Daisy. Almost there.
In a quarter mile, your destination will be on the right. Your destination is on the right.
Hey girl, you made it. You want out of there? Come on out. Go see your new home.
Come here. Come here, little one. Hi there. Yeah? She's like,
She's like, it finally stopped moving.
Yeah, long drive, huh?
All right, so we are in Andrews, Texas, and we are dropping off little Daisy Dukes here with her new owner, Amber. All right, so we're about 10 minutes away from where we just dropped off that little goat, and the rain has caught us. We are filling up, and I am gonna try to sneak this stinky dog crate out of my truck and clean it up, clean it out, throw the stinky cardboard away without anybody getting mad at me about it. Oh. I couldn't find anywhere to clean that kennel out, so I just gave it to this guy. All right, guys, so we are fueled up and we are heading back home to Arizona. We're in a little bit of a rainstorm, which is pretty cool. We don't get a lot of that where we're from. So thanks for riding along with us. Make sure you're subscribed, because in the next video, we're going a lot farther than that, and we're taking a lot more than one goat. You don't want to miss that. So we'll see you guys again next time. Bye.